Melanie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Denise. Good to be here. Good to be here. Good
Likewise.
to see your face.
Thank you. I'm glad you had. I know it's been a busy year despite COVID because you all
Mhm.
have been on the ground running, just making sure that women stay engaged and involved and empowered. Talk about one, your organization, but also, how we're going to maintain this high that we're on right now.
Keep pushing. Thank you again for inviting me. Here, so glad to be here representing the National Coalition and Black Women's Roundtable. Because Denise, I've been here 25 years now, believe it or not. August was my 25th anniversary at the National Coalition. And I can remember coming to town and engaging with so many of our sheroes and heroes, thinking about Dr. Height and so many others, Dr. C. Dolores Tucker, and all these folks that were around. And I remember in 2000, when with our Black Women's Roundtable, talking with Dr. Height about how we're going to push Black women's, not just our vote, but our leadership. And we coined the phrase in 2000, 20 plus years ago, power the sister vote. And what we started doing and pushing was that power was not just about voting, but that power was about our leadership and the role that we must play in owning that power unapologetically, not just for ourselves, but our communities. So all these years, as we continue to push, and how we build upon where we are now is to keep pushing, to keep bringing in and supporting new leadership so that the continuum continues till we ultimately reach, as far as politically anyway, we reach that goal of being president, being on the Supreme Court, having more Black women in the U.S. Senate and the House of Representatives, having Black women become governors and secretaries of state and attorney generals, and we've come close in some of those areas. So we have a long way to go because Black women and women overall with majority vote, but we're not represented when it comes to who the elected officials are. So much work to be done, but today, or at least we did yesterday, we celebrate, and today we work.
So it's good to hear you. I mean, talk about some of the goals or the aspirations. Possibly Black woman president, possibly, which we've never seen, a Black woman on the Supreme Court. And of course, I think a lot of eyes are going to turn back to Georgia
Yes.
for the,
Mhm.
the 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 position that slipped away from state
Stacey Abrams,
Stacey
yes.
Abrams, right? And the possibility that she may come back because she's so successful with the support of Black women to get a Black man, another one, named to the United States Senate. And
Right.
so, what are your immediate targets? What will you be organizing around, like
Right
tomorrow?
now, what we're organized around really started. We actually started yesterday hosting a celebration slash organizing session with some of our Asian Pacific Islander sisters and brothers because Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, it just sounds so good to say that, right? Is both Black as well as South Asian, because of her mother's roots, as well as Jamaican with her father's roots. So we got together and we actually had a conversation with some partner with Sister Christine Chin with API. And we've known each other for 25 years doing this work, and just talking about some of the commonalities, some of the things that we need to focus on. Celebrating, yes, the moment, because as organizers and women, we just keep doing the work. But sometimes it's okay to stop and celebrate a moment that. So someone put a thing on the Facebook or on my Facebook feed that had a picture of VP Harris being sworn in on Wednesday, and the little girl in diapers putting her hand on the screen. And it would say what, and so for that moment just captured it for me that this generation will see themselves in that, right? That little
No
girl can see.
question.
And so that's where we are. We just have to keep doing the work and then focusing in on we like inaugurations, right?
Oh
But we
yeah.
have to
Oh
move from
yeah.
inauguration to the work. The first 100 days, engaging, helping to advocate for a lot of the Black women and others, Black men and others who have been nominated to serve in this new administration. right? Sister
Exactly.
like
Right.
Kristen Clark, who's been nominated to serve as the head of the Civil Rights Division for the U.S. Justice Department,
Mm-hmm.
which will have a lot to do with what happens with issues around systemic racism and policing reform and criminal justice and voting rights. So that's
Right.
some of the work that we're going to be focusing on in the immediate.
Right. Wonderful. I noticed you're wearing your pearls. Does that mean something?
Well, my mama wore pearls. Start there, but I'm a Delta, love pearls, and then just continue to. There's been this kind of social media thing that all have been wearing pearls in celebration of seeing VP Harris not nominated. But I'm a pearls sister. I like wearing pearls. I just love them. I think so.
Wonderful. I guess it's time for me to pull mine out, huh? But yeah, I know that the AKAs and the Divine Nine. I
Yes.
understand really did support this. And the other thing you mentioned, Dr. Height, one of the I guess the tragedies of not being able to have that parade down Pennsylvania
Yes.
Avenue was the fact that VP Harris, as you call her, not have had an opportunity, did not have an opportunity to walk past the headquarters of the only building owned by African Americans on
Yes.
Pennsylvania Avenue, which is the National Council of Negro Women, which,
Yes.
because of so much, was boarded up this week. But to me, that was very significant. And so I
Hmm.
want you to talk a little bit about just what you felt personally when you saw her take that oath of office.
Um, Joy. Um, I thought about my own mom, and I thought about so many people. I thought about all the sisters, uh, having to have the opportunity to be physically on the grounds when it happened. Think about all the sisters who did the work in our Black Women's Roundtable and all these other organizations. Sisters really carried it. When we're Black women, NCNW, the sororities, the fraternities. I mean, the faith community. It's just and of course for me, wasn't to get a specific candidate elected, but to turn out that Black vote, and especially to have Black women who drive the Black vote. I say it all the time, and it's real. We are the secret sauce because we bring everybody with us. All right. So if you want to win, you got to win with Black women. Joe Taker Edie's leading that effort as continues. So that's part of what I felt, and I felt some sadness because I know had there not been COVID-19 and then an attempted coup 2 weeks before, right, made so much more security requirements that just not to be able to have the millions, I believe, the million plus folks on that mall. Just like you talked about, some of the things that were taken in a way because of those two things, that there couldn't have been more of us there on the grounds. But we know because of social media and technology, we were there, people there in spirit and online. I'm sure, I think we blew up the numbers online, but it would have been nice to just have more of us there.
Yeah, I always, I just happened to get a press pass, so I was there. But the amazing thing that I think about is that a lot of the great images that we're going to see from that day were taken by Black women photographers. I saw them out there loaded down with cameras, lenses that
Yes.
were like, 12, 14 feet long, I mean, inches
Yes.
long, I mean, heavy coats. But those
Yeah.
images were taken by Black women. And when you
Yes,
talk
that's
about
true.
the shutdown of the city and what happened in DC, we realized that all of that was sort of masterminded, if you could say, by a Black woman, the mayor of the District of Columbia, Mayor
Yes.
Muriel Bowser. And so I'm sure
And
your
she took
chest
it
was
on. She
just,
took care of it. She didn't back down. Um, and I love her for that. She's standing in her power, and saying call it for DC statehood now. Why not? There's no reason y'all Democrats control all levels of government. Let's get this done in 2021.
Melanie, in closing, I know that you mentioned COVID and you mentioned COVID-19 and you mentioned the impact that that's had on the community. And I know that you have some thoughts about policy issues that need to be
Mhm.
addressed. We have a vaccine out now, and people are standing in line, believe it or not, waiting to get it, and some are deciding they don't want to take it. Where is your organization on this issue, and what would you like to share about that?
Um, and just briefly on a personal level, I survived it. Had a really bad bout with it. So I, from a personal understanding, as soon as I can get the vaccine, I'm going to get it. Okay. I don't want to, I just don't want to ever have to live through that. Had 8 family members who suffered from COVID, and thank God, right? So everyone has survived it, but not,
That's
400,000 families, and many of those are Black families, brown, Latino families, who have lost loved ones. And so what we're doing, working in coalition, is really making sure people have good information. We're actually going through some even focus groups to find out what ways can we bring the message. I say that it's an individual decision, yes, but it has to be an informed one. People have to make a decision one way or the other. Either you decide to take that vaccine, or you find a way to decide that you're going to do even more to protect yourself, because too many of our folks are also not protecting themselves, right? And now I think what's important is also advocate with the task force for this new administration. I've reached out, trying to weigh in some of my experiences of having been personally on a personal level, but as well as an organization pushing for. We are pushing for and to educate people about why it's important to take the vaccine, but more importantly, to make an informed decision. So because it is a personal decision that people have to make for themselves, I believe.
Well, I want to thank you so much. God bless the fact that you did survive
Yes.
the virus, and that you're here strong and ready to move forward. So we want to
Yes.
thank you for being with us today, and we invite you to come back anytime. I know that there are a
Yes.
bunch of Black women that you've been working with and organizing out there. I've been on a couple of those calls, and so
We
I'm
gotta get you
excited to
back
see.
on one. We gotta get you back on one soon too. So we just talk
Will do.
offline.
Will do.
But
Okay.
thank you for being our voice, for telling our stories, for being the quiet storm leader you are. And appreciate you more than words can say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you. Stay well, stay safe, and stay strong.
Okay, you too.
All righty.